Here is the 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid SEL in white pearl over gray in gray. This is all new, a 7-seater. We're finally getting the hybrid, which gives us an additional 16 mpgs to the city and 6 mpgs for the highway. But is this going to be better than the competition? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over some pros and cons, the comparable rivals, and the problem that I have with the new Santa Fe Hybrid. In the front, we're getting the new H-styled LED daytime runnings that integrate into the light bar and LED headlights with the new flat Hyundai badging in silver because it's the SEL. Even the limited trim will get the same option, but when you go into the calligraphy, it's going to be black, so it's going to look a little bit more sporty, matching the gloss black elements that's on the lower with an active grille shutter and 7 inches of clearance. There isn't any XRT trim, so there's not going to be any increase of ground clearance. The fenders will still bulge out, but housed underneath the hood is what's special because it's a 1.6 liter turbocharged GDI 4-cylinder hybrid that's producing a combined output of 231 horsepower and 271 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to a 6-speed Steptronic automatic transmission. No dual wet clutch 8-speed transmission here. So you're not going to have any concerns, plus the increase of your MPGs. 18-inch wheels will be paired with the SEL. The Limited will start with a 20-inch, and the calligraphy will get a dark finish 20-inch. Matte black will surround the lower with the Santa Fe badging with the gloss black touch, and around all the window trims with the raised roof rails. Side view mirrors will not be power folding on the SEL. You got to go up to the Limited tier, but the turn signals, they're still going to be LED, and all of the hybrid trim will tow up to 2,000 pounds. All of them will hold 220 pounds on the roof rail. So when you're thinking rivals, Honda, Toyota, you can't do that for the roof rails. Now, towing capacity, obviously it's going to be a little bit light, but this is a hybrid, and for an everyday use, it gets the job done. So when you're thinking hybrids like Honda, the CR-V, it's going to be too small because this is a little bit longer than the prior gen, a little bit wider, and standard third row capabilities as a 6 or 7-seater configuration. And the 6-seater is only going to be on the calligraphy trim, which puts you into a Honda Pilot. And then you don't even have a hybrid trim, and it's longer and wider than this, so it's not necessarily comparable to this. Going into the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, it's going to be too small compared to this. It doesn't have third row capabilities. Then you got to go into the Highlander, which is going to be longer, but it's going to be a lot more tight in the rear, and the refresh of this has actually increased cargo capacity and interior space for all occupants, so you can fit adults in every single row. Now when you go SEL, you will not receive the blind spot avoidance assist that's only on the calligraphy trim, which will show cameras that's here on the side for the 360-degree reverse camera in the gauge cluster when you're using your indicators. The Limited will get the Highway Driving Assist 1, but the Highway Driving Assist 2 and Lane Follow Assist will only be on the calligraphy trim. And when you're thinking pricing, it's only around $500 more than the gas variant, and you're not getting that dual wet clutch automatic transmission, which people complain about. So you're getting a standard transmission, better MPGs, and more standard safety and amenities when you go Hyundai opposed to Toyota and Honda. Standard LED taillights, and yet again you're getting the H design for the rear. The lower is going to tuck the exhaust outlet more inwards with standard rear parking sensors and a reverse camera. Going up to the Limited unlocks the 360-degree reverse camera. Calligraphy gets the digital rear view mirror. The only eyesore that I see with the Land Rover Defender styling that they've done is the rear, because of how it just takes up the whole back, the tailgate. But on the Pro, it makes the entrance to the tailgate more wide than anybody in its class. Standard power liftgate going into 14.6 cubic feet of storage. You're gonna have a storage nook with a 12 volt. Move this out the way so you can see underneath the floor. Split fold the rear bench. I've already put one down at a 50-50 split. That's going to increase cargo to 40.5 cubic feet of storage, giving us an additional 4.1 cubic feet of storage more than the prior gen. And split fold the second row at a 60-40. You can do so in the back. That's going to max cargo to 79.6 cubic feet. That's giving us an additional 7.5 cubic feet of storage than the prior gen. 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver, 6-way manual adjustment for the passenger, H-Tech seats, power seat for the passenger start on the limited trim, and heated and ventilated seats, standard heated seats, headroom, and leg room. The SEL is the base trim of the hybrid, but you're still going to get the dual glove box setup with the storage between it, just you're not going to get that UVC protectant inside. 12 speakers through Bose start on the limited trim, heads-up displays on the calligraphy trim, digital rear view mirror, calligraphy trim, dual panel moonroof will start on the limited trim. Curved panel with 2 screens is going to be on all trims with a 4.2 information display for the driver that can go through an array of information and your driving modes. And navigation will start on the limited trim. Put it into reverse and we get a reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. You can also change for the tow lineup and make it expand. The limited trim will get the 360 camera. You will lose the dynamic voice recognition. You got to go into the limited, but the rear seat quiet mode is standard on all trims. With dual climate control settings, and I like that we still have physical buttons to make it a little bit easy. You don't have to use everything through this infotainment screen. Wireless charging pad, and if you want the his and her, you got to go calligraphy with 2 USB ports. And the key fob for the new Santa Fe Hybrid. Open up, and we got a deep storage pocket. This opens up so you can get a little bit more space inside the tub. LED interior lights as standard. 64 ambient light colors start on the limited. It's going to be a little bit more sporty with a pass-through and a 12-volt charger. With a leather-wrapped steering wheel, multi-function, heated starts on the limited tier, the paddle shifts. The gear lever is now on the steering column, which frees up all the space here and giving us optimal storage with a full pass-through. Door panels and dash configuring together, and you're going to have all soft materials, one touch up and down for the windows with a medium-sized storage pocket and a beverage holder carved out. Headroom and leg room, and you can adjust these forward, which I wouldn't be able to fit too well, and I would say this is where I'd be able to fit in the back. You got hangers here on all the seats, plus the design, storage behind both of the front seats with a USB port, storage box, and when you open this up, you can go from the front to the back, so that makes easy loading. Cup holders with armrests. Sunshades will be on the calligraphy trim. 2 cup or bottle holders on the top. Grab handles long, and you got a little sleeve here that you could fit something if you needed to, like a smaller phone, with another beverage holder carved out. Sliding into the center, the floor is nearly flat. You're not going to be really sharing any butt space, shoulder space, even knee space isn't bad, so you still have connectivity and headroom. It's still good for somebody that's 6'3". Going to the back, push the button up here or down there, slide it forward a little bit more because I am tall, and you can fit 2 more in the back. USB ports, you can get those when you go limited and calligraphy. This will turn on the fan speed for the back. Large windows, cup holders on both sides, headroom, and these seats do recline, which I have it reclined in the most position. And we're gonna put this back so you can see my leg space if it was at that middle ground, and this is still doable even pushed back. 231 horsepower hybrid, here we go. That was in sport mode. We're going to change it into eco. But the funny thing is, I'm still getting over 30 MPGs. This is something that is great when I'm considering a full refresh of the Santa Fe that is now standard 3rd row. We have more storage nooks. We got a full pass-through because they put the gear lever on the steering column. A curved 1-panel screen. I mean, you're getting somewhat of a BMW image in this interior with a Land Rover Defender styling on the exterior and actually bringing some of that into the interior for a fraction of the price and getting better MPGs. I know that's a lot to swallow. So when you're putting all that into perspective, you got to think of what you're getting as a product here, and you're only spending a few $100s more than the gas variant. And you're getting the same features, same safety features as the SEL gas variant. You will lose a little bit in towing, but it's not a huge deal or a deal breaker, I would say, but it will take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is the amount of value that you're getting, because when you start thinking Honda, you would go into a CR-V hybrid. Well, you're not going to get 3rd row. Now you go into a Pilot. Well, now you're not going to get a hybrid. When you go into Toyota, you go into the RAV4 Hybrid. You're going to spend more money for some of these variants, especially when you're comparing trim to trim. Plus, you don't have third row. Now, you go into the Highlander. That's going to be a lot more money than this. So you're not only saving with the fuel, but you're saving with the MSRP. And in the interior, you're going to actually have more head and leg room for the third occupants than that variant. Plus, you're getting additional cargo capacity when you fold down the second row, and the third row maxing to nearly 80 cubic feet. I mean, overall, I'm liking what I see. Leather wrap steering wheel is standard. You're not going to get that with Toyota. H-Tech seats, they feel like a leatherette type, and that's what it's meant to feel like. You will have to go up the trim to a limited to get ventilated seats, but standard heated seats, I mean, BMW, for instance, was talking about charging for heated seats as a monthly subscription fee. You're getting that for free here. Obviously, BMW has now considered not to do that because they had some people a little bit upset about it. But when you're going Hyundai, you're getting standard features. You don't have to pay for any subscription, and you're getting more than most of the vehicles in class. The cons, the pricing is going to be right at a Palisade, but then you're not going to be receiving a hybrid trim. If you're looking at a gas variant, I would say compare the two because you will get a little bit more capabilities there. But then once you start going like calligraphy and higher trims on the Palisade, it does inflate the price quite a bit, and you still will have a little bit more storage nooks throughout, and this is actually comparable for third row use for adults my dimensions. Some other cons is they don't offer the XRT trim, so no off-roading appearance package or increase in clearance. And when you're thinking Honda and Toyota, they both have off-road variants or styling that will go to that level. I would like to see that here. And the big pro is the 6-speed automatic transmission. You're not getting a dual wet clutch automatic transmission that's found in sports cars. I don't know why they throw it in the Santa Fe, but in reality, they sell around 120 to 130,000 units worldwide. So they may have some hiccups here and there, just like any automotive brand, but it's a carryover transmission. Turn radius, I can't really do it too much, but it's about 2 lanes. It's the same variant, and let's rock and roll. Now you're going to hear the engine here and there, but for the most part I feel it's a little bit more quiet, and that will lead me to the problem that I have with the Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid. You're going to lose a little bit of towing capacity and payload capabilities. It is still tight to get into the third row, and when they're stressing third row, we don't have any charging ports back there. You have to go limited trim. So there's a few things they could touch up, but overall, I do like the design. I do see some of the Ford Flex into it, which could be a problem in some people's perspective, but I see more of the Land Rover Defender. Really, the tail end or the tailgate area is the big problem that I have in the sense of styling, because it looks like the rear is sagging. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Gettle Hyundai of Lakewood for giving us this 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid for our car review.